Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Where in the World series here on Go Westeros. In this episode, just like we did last time, we'll be looking at 3 minor houses from Westeros, what they've been up to, where in the world they are, and how they pertain to the overall story as it's being told. In the last episode, we looked at houses Harding, Tarly, and Manwoody. And this week, we'll be looking at 3 more, and those are House Swyft of the Westerlands, House Karstark of the North, and House Kettleblack of the Crownlands. At this point, I should mention that this does contain spoilers for all 5 novels of A Song of Ice and Fire, so if you're not up to date, I wouldn't continue on much further. I'm Jack, your host, and let's dive right into it. Awake, awake, are the words of House Swyft of Cornfield from the Westerlands. They're a knightly house and are one of the principal sworn houses to the Lannisters of Casterly Rock. Their arms depict a blue bantam rooster on a yellow field. Their seat of Cornfield is located southeast of Casterly Rock, east of Crakehall and northwest of Red Lake. Known Swifts throughout A Song of Ice and Fire include Sir Harys Swyft, the Knight of Cornfield, the head of the house, his daughter Dorna, who is the wife of Sir Kevan Lannister and the mother to their children, Sir Harys's son and heir, Sir Steffan, and his other daughter Joanna, as well as another daughter who is married to Sir Melwyn Sarsfield. Unknown relations include Sir Humphrey Swyft and Jocelyn Swyft, who is a lady attendant or a lady-in-waiting to Queen Cersei. Famous Swifts throughout history include Sir Addison Hill, the bastard of Cornfield, who actually rose to become Lord Commander of Aegon the Conqueror's Kingsguard. Throughout history, in the Dance with Dragons, the Swifts were apparently a fully fledged noble house, so they were considered lords. The Lord Swyft at this time fought for the Greens and died in the battle by the lakeshore. So sometime between then and now being the beginning of Game of Thrones, they lost their nobility and were demoted to a knightly house, so to speak. Sir Harold Swyft also participated in the Ashford Meadow tourney in 209 AC, the events of which are the Hedge Knight novella in the Tales of Dunk and Egg. We are introduced to House Swyft in the first book, A Game of Thrones, when Tyrion Lannister sees the Bantam Rooster of House Swyft among his father Tywin's army. Cornfield men-at-arms form part of the Lannister right during the Battle of the Green Fork with heavy lancers. Later on, Tyrion is upset with Sir Harys Swyft, the Knight of Cornfield, for criticising his brother Jaime's tactics during the Siege of Riverrun. He considers Sir Harys a craven lickspettle whose greatest accomplishment was marrying his daughter Dorna to Tyrion's uncle Sir Kevan, who is a great lord, great knight in his own right. In A Clash of Kings, Arya Stark overhears in Harrenhal, where she's in hiding, that the cooks despise Sir Harys and spit in all of his food. Arya spots the Swift rooster in Tywin's army as it leaves the giant fortress. Sir Harys's squire, who I don't think is named, is stabbed to death in a quarrel with the Bloody Mummers, who are a sellsword company working for Tywin. During the Battle of the Blackwater, later in A Clash of Kings, Harys becomes trapped beneath his dying horse until a grizzled man-at-arms in his service named Willet pulls him out, and defends him against a dozen attackers. I wonder if that man got some sort of reward. In A Storm of Swords, Sir Harys is among the nobles gathered to greet the Dornish party, with Tyrion Lannister headed by Prince Oberyn Martell. When we come to A Feast for Crows, Jocelyn Swyft, she is one of Queen Regent Cersei's ladies-in-waiting. Cersei considers her a slow-witted fool. Sir Humphrey Swyft is seen by Jaime scoring a solid hit while training at the Red Keep. We're not sure what relation Humphrey is. He could be a brother, he could be an uncle. Later on, Sir Harys is given the ultimate honour and is actually named Hand of the King by Cersei. But while she does not have a high opinion on him, she chooses him due to the fact that he does not argue with her and can be used as a puppet and as kind of leverage against Harys's son-in-law and Cersei's uncle, Sir Kevan. Harys is later demoted to Master of Coin after the death of Giles Rosby, whom we've covered in the past. He is replaced as Hand by Lord Orton Merryweather. Sir Steffan Swyft is part of Jaime's army, recruited to resolve the siege of Riverrun. this of course is in Feast for Crows, he is entrusted with the task of protecting the Lannister baggage train. After Cersei is seized in the Great Sept of Baelor, Sir Harris takes the reins of the Seven Kingdoms along with Grand Maester Pycelle. They invite Sir Kevan Lannister to become the Lord Regent. In A Dance with Dragons, Book 5, Sir Harris continues to serve as Master of Coin, attempting to deal with the debt issues created by Cersei. Kevan suggests that Sir Harris should travel to Braavos and meet with the Iron Bank. The Son of Winter are the words of the Karstarks of Karhold in the north. They are a distant cadet branch of their overlord the Starks, and are among their principal bannermen. Karstarks are noted to be big, fierce men, bearded and long-haired, with brown hair and blue-grey eyes, and they favour wearing cloaks made of pelts of seals, bears and wolves. Their sigil is a white sunburst on a black field. Their castle of Karhold is also noted to be strong. It's located in the eastern half of the north, south of the Bay of Seals and west of the Great Cliffs. Known Karstark throughout A Song of Ice and Fire include Lord Rickard Karstark, his eldest son and heir Harren Karstark, his second son Torren Karstark, his third son Eddard Karstark, his daughter Alice Karstark, who is Harren's heir, Lord Rickard's uncle Arnulf Karstark, and Arnulf's sons Cregan and Arthur. The Karstarks are descended from the First Men, like most of the North. Their founder was Carlon Stark, who put down a rebel lord and was granted lands for his valour. The castle he built was named Karshold, which soon became known as Karhold, and over the centuries the Karhold Starks became the Karstarks. We are first introduced to the Karstarks in Book 1, A Game of Thrones, when they answer the call of Robb Stark when he rallies the banners. Led by Lord Rickard and his three sons Harren, Eddard and Torren, they bring 300 horse and near 2,000 foot soldiers to Winterfell. The young Bran Stark overhears Eddard, Karstark, muttering to his brother Torren that he would rather die than live crippled as Bran is. Torren then says that Bran is likely broken inside, but is too craven to take his own life. Those bastards. On the march south, the Karhold men quarter in the Drunkard's Tower when they stop at Moat Cailin. Lady Catelyn warns her son Robb that she cannot seem indecisive in front of men like Roose Bolton or Lord Rickard Karstark. When the northern army splits up at the Twins, Rickard's heir Harren leads the Karstark spears with the Bolton's infantry, whilst Lord Rickard and his other sons accompany Robb with their cavalry. Eddard and Torren are two of the 30 sons of lords who ride with the young wolf Robb Stark during the Battle of the Whispering Wood, where they are unfortunately both killed by Sir Jaime Lannister. At the Battle of the Green Fork, Tyrion Lannister spots Karstark banners among the enemy line. He follows the mountain's charge against the Karstark men, and in this battle Harren Karstark is captured and is then brought to Harrenhal. Lord Rickard, is grieving and desires vengeance for his sons. But Jaime, of course, is a needed or valued prisoner. After the Battle of the Camps, where Riverrun is relieved of its siege, Rickard is seen by Catelyn praying in the Godswood alongside Robb and some others. Catelyn perceives him as a man in a nightmare, gaunt and hollow-eyed in his grief. Rickard remains loyal and is the second man behind the Umbers. Can't remember which Umber it is. It's the Great John. He is the second man behind the Great John Umber to proclaim Robb Stark as king in the north. In A Clash of Kings, the Karstarks are one of the houses with family ties to the Hornwoods through the female line, and are thus interested in the inheritance. They campaign with Robb Stark through the Westerlands. Lord Rickard, drives a lance through Sir Stafford Lannister's chest in the Battle of Oxcross. He then continues to raid along the Sunset Coast with Gobert Glover. Acting hand of the king, Tyrion Lannister plans to exchange Harren Karstark and Sir Wylis Manderley for his cousin Willem Lannister, but negotiations fail. When Roose Bolton takes Harrenhal, Harren Karstark is released from captivity. He then sends him as part of Robert Glover's and Helmund Toolhart's force to take Duskendale. Excuse me. Up in the north, Karhold Castellan, Arnulf Karstark, who's the uncle of Lord Rickard, sends regrets to Winterfell because they cannot help Sir Roderick against the Ironborn, simply because they lack men. However, when Sir Roderick arrives at Winterfell with his force, Theon Greyjoy does notice a few Karstark banners amongst his men. Roderick's men. In a storm of swords after the sack of Winterfell, Bran Stark considers going to either the Umbers or the Karstarks whom he considers loyal. In Duskendale, Haryon Karstark is once again captured, but by this time by Lord Randall Tarley. He is held at Maidenpool. Lord Rickard returns from the Westerlands. He finds that Catelyn has freed Sir Jaime from captivity and feels that he's been robbed of his vengeance. Driven to desperation, he and 7 of his men murder Tion Frey, a Lannister cousin, and Willem Frey, the son of Sir Kevin. Meanwhile, his cavalry scour the Riverlands in search for Jaime. He is promised the hand of his daughter Alice for whoever brings him Jaime's head. For the crime of betrayal, Robb Stark sentences Lord Rickard to death and beheads him. Before his death, he accuses Robb of kinslaying due to the ancient relation of the Starks and the Karstarks. After his Lord Rickard's execution, the Karstark cavalry break away from the rest of the northern host and return back north to Karhold. The infantry, however, the Karstark infantry, are kept by Roose Bolton after the Battle of the Ruby Ford. They go with Lord Roose to the twins for Edmund Tully's wedding to Rosalind Frey. In a dance with dragons, with the death of Rickard, Haryon is now the Lord of Karhold. But with Haryon held hostage, Arnulf Karstark, the Castellan of Karhold, declares for King Stannis, and they are the only major northern house to do so. Secretly, however, Arnulf is in plot with the Boltons to provoke the Lannisters to execute Lord Haryon and then marry his own son Cregan to the late Lord Rickard's daughter Alice, and then turn against Stannis when he reaches Winterfell. So he wants the Karstarks and Karhold all to himself. Alice Karstark flees north and seeks refuge at the Wall. She seeks the help of Lord Commander Jon Snow. Arnulf's plan to claim Karhold is foiled when Jon arranges a marriage between Alice Karstark and Sigurd, the Magna of Fen, who are a part of the wildlings being assimilated into the realm. Should Haryon die, the lordship of Karhold would then pass to Alice and the newly founded House Fen. Jon sends a raven to inform Stannis of Arnulf's treachery. Cregan then arrives at Kettleblack to find Alice wed and is thrown in an ice cell. He is given the choice to join the Night's Watch or wait for Stannis to return and be executed. House Kettleblack is a knightly house of the Crownlands. Their sigil is a black kettle drum, bordered by black on a red field. Physically, the Kettleblacks are described as being tall, with dark hair and hooked noses. They are also known for their unscrupulous behaviour. Known Kettleblacks throughout A Song of Ice and Fire include Oswell, who is a man-at-arms to Lord Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, Sir Osmond Kettleblack, his eldest son, Sir Osfrid Kettleblack, his second son, and his youngest, Sir Osney Kettleblack. Sir Osmond, the eldest son, who was the first knight of the family, fought as a sellsword in the Stepstones and the disputed lands. He fought with the Gallant Men, a sellsword company for Lys and Tyrosh, and then he claims to have been knighted by Sir Robert Stone, who is now dead. It's also interesting to note that House Kettleblack don't have a keep for themselves. They were born as small folk and were raised as knights, so they don't yet have a keep. In the Clash of Kings, during the War of the Five Kings, we were introduced to the Kettleblacks. Sir Osmond, Osney and Osfrid are sellswords in King's Landing. Cersei hires them as part of a sellsword retinue to replace Captain Villar's guards, whom Tyrion sends from the capital. He banishes them from the capital. Unbeknownst to her, the brothers are actually informing on her to Tyrion. Cersei names Sir Osmond to the Kingsguard to replace Sir Boros Blount after she dismisses Blount for cowardice. He is assigned to guard King Joffrey in the Battle of Blackwater. Osfryd Kettleblack becomes the captain of Cersei's new Red Cloak Guard and remains with the Queen during the battle. And although none of them are involved in the fighting, Osney and Osfryd are both knighted post-battle. In a storm of swords, Sir Osfryd and Sir Osney retrieve Prince Tommen from Rosby. Their father, Oswell, rows Sir Dontos Hollard and Sansa Stark out to the waiting Merlin King, a ship, the night they escaped King's Landing, Joffrey's death. This shows that Peter Baelish may very well be the one actually controlling the Kettleblacks. Sir Osmond is called as a witness for the prosecution in a trial for Tyrion for the death of King Joffrey. His testimony is made up. In a feast for crows, Cersei tells them to dispose of the corpse of Shay, whom they found in Tywin's bed the night he died. While the Kingsguard brothers meet in the White Sword Tower, Sir Osney and Sir Osfryd are posted to guard King Tommen. Osfryd is named the new commander of the City Watch after Sir Adam Marbrand leaves. Jaime Lannister reprimands Osmond Kettleblack and Sir Boris Blount, who has been restored to the Kingsguard, telling them not to kill anyone on Cersei's orders without asking Jaime first. Cersei has Osney sneak into the Great Sept of Baelor and murder the High Septon that was appointed by Tyrion. She actually offers him sex as a reward. She plots with Osney, telling him to seduce Queen Marjorie Tyrell and then confess to the new Septon, known as the High Sparrow. As punishment, Cersei will make sure that he is sent to the Wall rather than killed, where he is then to kill Jon Snow. The plan goes awry when Osney is tortured by the High Sparrow and confesses to sleeping with Cersei. They are both imprisoned by the Faith. Sir Osfryd is then removed as commander of the City Watch. Oswell Kettleblack, their father, is at Old Town when the Merlin King docks and reports to Littlefinger that he has some interesting information. I don't think we know what that is. We might do. And finally, in A Dance with Dragons, Sir Kevin Lannister imprisons Osfryd Kettleblack, planning to send him and Osney to the Wall, or have them face Sir Robert Strong, the new Kingsguard Knight, in a trial by combat, depending on their pleas. That's so far as all we know of the Kettleblacks. I quite like them. I think they're interesting. They're very likely puppets used for Littlefinger's ploy. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. And if they do go to the Wall, if Osfryd and Osney go to the Wall, looking to kill Jon Snow, well, they might find him not there. And as we wrap up on House Kettleblack, we wrap up on this episode of Where in the World. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found at least some of what I said helpful in your quest to gain as much knowledge of this world as possible. Remember to find me on Twitter, @GoWesteros. Drop me a comment, a tweet on Twitter, some advice, some criticism please, or just say hello. Again, I've been Jack, your host, and I'll see you all very, very, very soon.